conference will now be recorded.
Okay, just to start with, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar Surjan, and I have total 17 years of experience in SAP. And I have worked in the different modules like MM, WM, SD, LE, and EWM. And from the last 5 years, I have been providing EWM training, job support, and interview assistance. So this is the first session, come demo session, because most of you have not yet registered and would like to attend the first session to see how it goes, and you have certain questions. So accordingly, we have kept the first session as open for all, but in a batch we will accommodate maximum 8 to 9 candidates, and accordingly we have created the WhatsApp group as well for those who have already enrolled. So going forward, the next sessions, we will keep it within the restricted group, but this session is open to all. And the agenda of this session will be going through the short presentation, and then we'll talk about the course content and the approach, and followed by all of your questions. So I am going to share my screen. So let me know once you are able to see. Can somebody please confirm if you can see my screen?
And yeah, it's visible, Ashish. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so as you all know that this course is about the SAP Extended Warehouse Management. So you might know the history of it, that SAP had earlier the warehouse application, and that provides a very minimal warehousing requirements. So every time the organization had to go for big developments, and accordingly SAP came up with the Extended Warehouse Management with the different additional functionalities, and we know that it is a big hit, it is a niche module, and it fulfills the requirement of the simple warehouse as well as the complex warehouses. Now, some of you might not have worked in the SAP, but some of you might be having experience in the different modules. But guys, believe me, if you have not yet worked in the EWM, then you are a fresher in EWM. Even if you have 10 to 15 years of experience in the different modules, but EWM you have not yet worked, then it is a new for you, because and you are a fresher in EWM, because EWM, the transactions are different, terminologies are different, navigations are different, processes are different, functionalities are different. So if you are wondering that if you are a fresher in SAP and somebody having 10 years of experience, but after 2 or 3 sessions both will be at par, because we will be focusing on the EWM, and it is a new for those having experienced in the other modules as well. So before we start looking into the EWM terminologies and the system, the idea is that you should visualize the warehouse. That is, think of the organization process, and accordingly you will be able to map it in the EWM. So if we talk about the basic organization process in any organization, if you consider, for example, you already know Nestle. Nestle is the dairy and milk company which is known to everyone. So if you think about the organization process of Nestle, what you could think of, that they procure milk, the milk which they procure, they store it in the warehouse, they issue the milk, raw milk in the production, and produce the cheese and paneer and flavored milk, different products. Those products you will again store it in the warehouse. After producing, of course, you will do the quality check, and after that, when you get the order from the customer, you will ship the final product, the finished product, to the customer. Now this is your process, and if you look into the SAP point of view, it will be split into different modules. Milk procurement, that is procurement process, comes under SAP material management. You can see it here, the milk which you have stored in the warehouse, that is your EWM. Then you are going to withdraw it for the production lines. and produce the final product. That is your production planning integration with EWM. And then finally, you will be storing it in the warehouse again and shipping it to the customer. So this will be sales and distribution integration with EWM. Now you could understand the process always start with procurement or production or sales. Whenever you are storing something in the warehouse or withdrawing something from the warehouse, there your EWM comes into picture. So the guys having already experience in the other modules, you must be knowing the organization structure, what we create in the SAP. The organization structure is somewhat we first understand for the organization and then set it up in the system. So in case you have no EWM, then you have plant and storage location, and you will be managing the inventory at the storage location level. In case you have a regular WM, not EWM, then you will consider your storage location, plant storage location combination as a warehouse manage. That means your storage location would be warehouse manage. And in case you have EWM, then this three character regular WM warehouse is just a bridge between your ERP and EWM. So here you can see a fence, and throughout the course we will see the fence, where on the top you will see the basic supply chain modules, and below the fence you will see extended warehouse management. In case you have no WM, no EWM, then your org structure will be up to storage locations. In case you have a WM, then your org structure will be the one which you can see above the fence. In case you have EWM, then this three character WM warehouse is just a bridge between your ERP and your EWM. Okay, so now in case you have not yet worked in the WM or not yet started working in SAP, then for those guys I can just explain in detail. So suppose you have a warehouse, or you can see a Walmart store. Okay, so before we talk about EWM, as I said, think of the organization structure, organization process. If you have manufacturing company, you can visualize that processes. In case you have retail store, you can visualize that. In case you have automobiles, you can visualize according to that. So Walmart is a retail store that is known to everyone. Think of a Walmart store. Suppose this is a store, and here you have different shelf in a store. So we are not even talking about SAP or EWM or any other application. We are simply talking about the Walmart store. So if you have a Walmart store, and here you have different racks. Suppose here you have rack 1, where what they are storing stationery items. And here you have another rack where you are storing food products. So within the food products, you have different varieties, like you have vegetarian, you have non-vegetarian, you have fruits, you have vegetables. So accordingly, here you are storing, or the Walmart store, they are storing fruits, and here they are storing vegetables, and here they are storing non-vegetarian. Okay, suppose this is a basic structure. I mean, they will be having different more racks, different more products, but for the simplicity, we will simply talk about these two racks. In case the truck comes in the warehouse, what will happen? The truck will come here. Okay, so we are talking about the Walmart process at the granular level. When the truck comes, suppose the truck contains a carton, and that carton is having 100 apples. So where you are storing the apples? Here. But what will happen? The truck will come here, and here you will unload the cartons. All the cartons which are there in the truck, you are going to unload, and then after unloading, you will be storing it here. So this is the very simple process. You have the truck coming in, you have unloaded the truck, unloaded the carton from the truck, and those cartons you will be storing it here. Okay, so it is also possible that you have, suppose this is one carton and this one is another carton. You have another carton that contains apples, 50 apples and 50 potatoes. So what you will do, what the Walmart store will do, they will take this carton in a place, and here they will split the carton. So this carton they will split into two, and then the fruits, apples will be going here, and potatoes will be stored here. Okay, so this is a basic vendor receipt process. You are getting a product, you are getting two cartons from a vendor in a Walmart store. The warehouse resources will be unloading it. The carton, which is homogeneous, contains 100 apples. You will be putting it in a space which is for fruits. The carton, which contains multiple different products, and you cannot store the same carton as it is here because it contains potatoes as well. You will split the carton, and then you will store it here. Now, in case you see, first we have talked about the organization structure without any ERP application. And now if you are going to map it with the EWM, then here you can see warehouse. This is a warehouse divided into several storage types. Storage type 1, storage type 2. Then storage types are further divided into storage sections. You can see here storage section 1, storage section 2, and storage section 3. And then you have a storage bin. The last spot where you are storing the product is your storage bin. This is your WM warehouse structure. And if we, and here you can see quant. This is just the characteristics of the material. We will talk about it later. And if you go one step ahead, then you will see the warehouse structure where you have doors. So this is your door where the truck will come. The truck will be docked at the door. You can see staging area where you will be doing the unloading. This is your staging area. In case of simple receiving, in case of simple storage, from the staging area, this is your staging area. It will be stored it in the warehouse bin. In case it is not so simple, where the carton contains mixture of multiple products, it will be taken to the place which is called as a work center in EWM. And after executing the activities in the work center, in this case it is splitting the carton, you will be taking the individual carton to the respective storage area. Okay, so most of the guys who have worked in the SAP MM but not worked in the EWM, they might be thinking what is the difference. So in case the organization is not setting up the WM or EWM, then this you will consider as a storage location. That means this is your storage location. See, the organization process will still remain as it is because the truck will still be coming. You have the space for unloading. You have a different racks. The only thing is that you will not get any direction from the system. In case there is no EWM, then the moment you have done the unloading, there is no further direction from the system. There is no further check from the system. The warehouse resource is free to store the apples here, or anywhere. System is not going to check anything. But in case you have EWM, then you might have seen in the retail store when you go for the billing, then the person standing on the billing, they will scan the barcode, and in case the product is wrong or they scan the incorrect barcode, then there will be an error on the device. Similarly, in case you have EWM, then system will force you to scan the carton to make sure that you are taking up the right carton. System will show the bin, storage bin, where this carton should be placed, and the resource will take the carton to the storage bin, and then system will force the resource to scan the storage bin to make sure that the right carton is placed in the right bin. And if we go one step ahead, it will be the right carton will be picked up by the right resource for the right process at the right time and stored in the right bin. This is the level of direction which you will get in case you have extended warehouse management. So I will pause here for 30 seconds. In case you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank
Yeah,
you
hey,
for
Ashish,
the
good morning. I'm Raju here. So, what is the difference for the warehouse management and the EWM? Because I missed 5 minutes of the introduction, I think.
Okay, so we have not yet talked about the differences between WM and the EWM.
Okay,
Now, just to give you the high level understanding, if you have worked in the WM, then you know the org structure. Rest everything is different.
okay,
So in other words, WM is just 10 to 15% of the functionalities being offered in the EWM.
okay,
Okay,
got
so
it.
if
Yeah,
somebody is new in SAP, then this one is new for them. If somebody is new, already worked in SAP MM but not in WM and EWM, then the warehouse structure is new for them. If somebody has already worked in the WM but not in EWM, then that person knows the warehouse structure. Rest everything is different in EWM. So you will have to unlearn WM to learn EWM.
okay. Unlearn WM to learn EWM. Okay,
Yes, other than org structure, other than this terminology, storage type, storage section, and storage bin, everything is different in EWM. All the terminologies, all the functionalities, it offers several more functionalities that we have in the SAP regular WM, and several more differences are there that we will talk about in our regular sessions.
okay,
yeah the detailing will come, Raghu. But I mean, Raju, but like Ashish is mentioning, it's more to verify or understand that, like in an MM module, you're just posting a good receipt directly in a plant, against a delivery. How it is physically mapped. Start thinking about the process, that every physical activity which is done when the truck arrives or till the product is being picked by a regular customer like you or me. What are the activities which are being done, how those are being mapped in the system. And EWM does a fantastic job of linking those activities and defining each and every steps which the user does, rather than just assuming that the truck arrives and the products magically arrive at the bins where they are supposed to do. So all those activities, they are all mapped, like the mixed palette, which Ashish mentioned, a regular storage, etc., all those cases, and how the product having food products directly only selected that bin and not the bin for stationaries, etc. That is all the setup which we'll be discussing in the
Got it.
coming classes. Yeah.
Okay, any further questions, anyone?
So it depends upon the different types of business how they will do, right? Different way we need to like configure the things in the system.
Yes, configuration will come later.
Yeah.
First, you can think of the organization process and then we'll see the configuration. So if you talk
Mhm.
about the automobile, then what do you think of the
Mm.
automobile? Okay, suppose you have the warehouse. Now in the automobile, you might be having two different storage where you have multi-level parkings. Okay, for example, vehicles, four-wheelers. Here you are storing vehicles which is less than 1000 cc, and here you are storing vehicles which is more than 1000 cc. So what will happen after this? Here you have different parking levels. Okay, assuming that the Maruti, after production, they will be storing all their vehicles in the warehouse. So here they have a multi-level parking where you have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level n, storing less than 1000 cc. And here, for example, here you have three levels, more than 1000 cc, less than 1000, more than 1000. Now after production received, here you are storing, say, vehicle A, B, C, D, and here PQR. Now after production is done and you are getting the vehicle Q.
क्या है ये?
So in case you are not in the EWM, then how the resource will know where to store the vehicle Q? Resource will have to look across the warehouse, across the storage location to find out. Now, even after going into this level, the resource will have to find out the vacant space. However, in case you are in the EWM, the moment you have received vehicle Q, system will direct you to go to the storage type B, this storage type, go to the parking level 2. In the parking level 2, go on the left, and the parking space number 11th is available to store this vehicle. Not only this,
Okay.
in case you have two-wheeler as well as four-wheelers, you would like to make sure that two-wheelers can go into two-wheelers parking and four-wheeler can be stored in the four-wheeler parking. Because you can always store two-wheeler in the four-wheeler parking, but four-wheelers cannot be accommodated in the two-wheeler parking. So the right product as per the size would be stored in the right bin that EWM will allow you.
Okay.
Okay, so it varies from business to business. Here we talked about the retail store. This one is your automobile. If you talk about again the Nestle organization, then you have different area where you are storing different warehouses where you are storing milk, you are storing cheese products, you have the production facility. So accordingly, the warehouse structure varies from organization to organization. Okay, but
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you see the EWM, here you have storage type, storage section, storage bin. And if you go into the detail, then you have a door where the truck is coming. Inbound means something is coming in the warehouse. Outbound means something is going out of the warehouse. So if apples are coming in the warehouse, the truck will be standing here. The truck will be standing here. You will be doing the unloading in the staging area. Here you can see 9010, that is the standard number for storage type. 0001 is the storage section. This GR zone is the storage bin. In case of simple storage, you will be moving the product from 9010 to the regular bins. 9010, which we can see on the diagram, to the regular bins. In case you are getting a mixture, multiple products, then you will take it into the work center. Now you have different type of work center. In this diagram, it is represented as a deconsolidation because you are going to split the carton. 8010 is the storage type. DEK or DECO is the storage bin. And then you will be taking the product, apples in a place where it is supposed to store, potatoes in a place where the vegetables are stored in this 0050. Okay, but these are just the 4-character numbers. We can create as required any 4-character storage types. And now when you get the order from the customer, what you will do? If you get the order from the customer, you will withdraw from the bin. Okay, so you will withdraw from this bin the product which you have received. You will withdraw and put it in a place that is time being until the truck comes, and when the truck comes you will load into the truck. So this is your inbound, something is coming in the warehouse. This is your outbound, something is going out of the warehouse. Here we are assuming that you are getting the order from the customer 100 apples. So the carton containing 100 apples would be withdrawn, put it in a place, truck comes, you will load into the truck. If you get the order of 50 apples and 50 potatoes, you will take 50 from here, you will take a trolley. In the trolley, you will put 50 potatoes. In a trolley, you will put 50 apples. Bring it in a work center where you will be packing, repacking as per the customer requirement. And from there, you will put it here. So if you refer this diagram, you can see the outbound process. You will withdraw from the fixed bin, withdraw from the bins. In case there is no packing, repacking requirement, the carton as it is, you are withdrawing and loading into the truck, then there is no work center. That is a simple outbound process. Something is going out of the warehouse. Withdraw, put it in a staging area, truck will come and you will load into the truck. The warehouse resources will be loading into the truck. In case a special packing, repacking requirement is there, it will be taken to the work center. In the work center, you will pack, repack, label, whatever you want to do, whatever the warehouse resources wanted to do, and then put it in a staging area. And from there, when the truck comes, then you will load into the truck. Any further questions, anyone? Okay, so in case there is no WM, EWM, then this will be your storage location. You will simply post the receipt here. System don't know what is happening inside the warehouse. In case of outbound, you will simply issue the product. System don't know what is happening inside the warehouse. There is no monitoring, no tracking of the activities which are being done inside the warehouse. Okay, but in case you have EWM, then you can track the cart at the carton level. If no EWM, then in the system you only know that you have 500 apples which are stored somewhere here. But in case you have EWM, then system knows you have carton 1 containing 100, carton 2 containing 50, carton 1 is stored here, carton 2 is stored here, and so on. Any further questions, anyone?
No, everything clear.
Okay, so now we will simply talk about the different functionalities which we are going to learn in the training session, because as I said, this is today we will keep it simple and will focus mostly on our approach and your queries. And then next Saturday onwards, we will be keeping a restricted group, our WhatsApp group that I have already created, and will share the training link to only that group. Okay, so we already talked about the work center. Now here, this is the inbound process. So inbound process, it starts with creation of the purchase order. We all know that in case we want to procure 100 apples, then the team will create a purchase order and then send it to the vendor. Vendor will provide the confirmation. When the truck leaves the vendor premises, that time the inbound delivery will be created. So as I said, left side of the fence you have ERP and right side of the fence you have EWM. So the inbound delivery will be distributed in the EWM, will be going into the EWM. In case of decentralized EWM, it will create this additional document notification. In case of embedded EWM, it will create the inbound delivery. Okay. So inbound delivery will be created when the truck leaves the vendor premises. And when the truck comes to our warehouse, that time we will post the receipt after unloading. Similarly, in the outbound process, the customer service team will create the sales order, which comes under sales and distribution. Something is going out of the warehouse, so the outbound delivery will be created. In case it is EWM managed, then this outbound delivery will be creating another outbound delivery order in EWM. In case of embedded EWM, you have outbound delivery order. In case of decentralized EWM, that is, you have a separate box for ERP and separate box for EWM that we call as a decentralized. You have two different SAP systems, one for the ERP, other one for the EWM. In that case, you have outbound delivery request that will also be created. What's the difference between embedded and decentralized? How many different type of decentralized are there? How the data will be transferred? All that we will see during our regular sessions. Now this inbound delivery and this outbound delivery order are also called as a warehouse request. Requesting warehouse for this additional activities. And this is called as a warehouse task. That means the warehouse request, which is inbound delivery in the inbound process and outbound delivery order in the outbound process, are also called as a warehouse request, requesting warehouse for the additional activity, which is your warehouse task. The warehouse task in WM, you call it as a transfer order. The warehouse task contains all the information pertaining to goods movement. That means where to pick, which carton to pick, where to store, how many units are there, which batch is there, all this information will be there in the warehouse task. Okay, so we will simply run through this, but in detail we will talk about it in our regular sessions. So if we talk about the inbound process, You have the warehouse task where you already know the source, that the resource is going here and taking the pallet from here, but the destination is not known. The destination will be determined based on your different storage strategies. In EWM, we call as a put away strategies, put away rules. And in the outbound process, the source will be determined based on stock removal rules, and the destination will be determined. I mean, that is known to the warehouse guys that they need to pick the product from here and put it here. Okay, so it could be the first expiry, first out, FIFO, LIFO, you must have heard about it. So in EWM, we have different rules available, and we can construct our own stock removal rules. Like if multiple cartons are there, suppose you have first in, first out. Now you have 3 cartons fulfilling the first in, first out criteria. Then what would be the second criteria? Second criteria could be quantity. So if you have 2 cartons fulfilling the second criteria, then you have the option to add the third criteria as well. So that the warehouse resource will pick the most suitable carton. It should not happen that the carton is expiring after 7 days and the warehouse resource ended up picking the carton which is expiring after 1 month. So the carton will expire sitting in the warehouse, and that you will have to throw it in the dustbin. So in order to make sure that the products are stored in the right bin and the right product is withdrawn for the right customer, that will be controlled based on your different rules available in the EWM. So the warehouse task which you have created, this warehouse task you will assign to the resource. Resource could be forklift operator, it could be the regular resource like you and me, it could be the vehicle, and the resource is responsible to execute this activity. Okay, so in EWM, you have something called the warehouse order, which was not there in your regular WM, that is new functionality. So the warehouse order would be created. The warehouse order contains one or multiple tasks. Okay, so if I am getting this warehouse order, then I am responsible to execute the task which is linked to it. If you are getting this warehouse order, then you are responsible to execute the 2 tasks which are linked to this warehouse order. And how the system knows the warehouse order contains one task or warehouse order should contain 2 tasks or n number of tasks, that will be through warehouse order creation rules. Okay, so here in case you are getting a carton of 500 kgs, then of course you and I cannot lift the carton which is quite heavy, that requires a forklift operator. But in case you are getting 2 cartons of 50 kg each, 2 small carton, then we can always carry. In case you are getting 1 carton of 100, then still we can carry. In case you are getting a carton which is supposed to be stored on the top of the rack where you and I cannot reach, only the forklift operator can reach. So this task should be assigned to the forklift operator in this case. That means right product would be assigned to the right resource as per the resource capability, so that the put away, that is storage, and the removal process will be smooth. That will be controlled through your warehouse order creation rules. Okay, then you have wave management that will have we have a dedicated sessions for all these different functionalities. I am just giving you at the high level. So we have wave management. Now in case you are getting 2 trucks, truck 1, truck 2, truck 3. 3 trucks are coming here at the same time. Okay, you have a very big warehouse, maybe say half kilometer you are storing the product here, and the distance is say half a kilometer or 1 kilometer where the truck is coming. Now 3 trucks are coming, truck 1, truck 2, and truck 3. This truck is going to Walmart, this truck is going to DMart, this truck is going to Costco. This truck requires 100 apples, this truck requires 50 apples, and this truck requires 200 apples. So you have a requirement of 350 apples. Now you have two options. That means the warehouse resource would be having two options. For this delivery, travel 1 kilometer, pick 100 apples and load into the truck or put it here. Again go back, pick 50 apples and come here and put it here. Again go back, pick 200 apples and put it here. That is one option. The resource, however, the resource is having a capability of taking up the carton up to 500 kgs. So why can't we pick all these 350 together and put it here, or put it here and then split as per the customer requirement? That means the resource will take 3 cartons, or the resource will take these loose items in a trolley and bring the trolley in an intermediate area. This is a place, and here they will split it. Which one is more efficient? Of course, the second one, because your travel time will be reduced and the resource will be efficiently utilized. So in this case, the 3 delivery items, Walmart, Costco, and DMart requirement, would be clubbed together in a wave, bring it in the intermediate area, and then split as per the customer requirement. And when the truck comes, then you will load into the truck. That is your wave management and the two-step picking. Then you have a different data transfer methods between the ERP and EWM that we will see. In regular ERP, you have a movement type. In EWM, you have a warehouse process type. All goods movement requires a movement type in the ERP. Your MMSD, you have different movement types, 101, 261, etc. And in EWM, you have a different warehouse process type. Every product is having a different packaging requirement. You might be having 100 apples stored in a carton, or you will be having a television. That television will be wrapped in a bubble wrap, and then that you will put it in a carton. In between two cartons, you will put a layer of thermocol. Every product is having a different packaging requirement. So in EWM, we have a packaging specification that is at the product level, and that we set up to fulfill the packaging requirements of the product. The detailed structure of packaging specification, we have a dedicated session for that later on. Then yard management, it is all about the truck movement. So in case you have a warehouse, here you have 3 trucks coming, but here you can see you have only one door. So how you are going to manage the 3 trucks? Okay, so truck movement within the yard will be in yard management. Okay, so in addition to this, we also have cross-docking functionality where you have unloaded 100 apples and a truck is waiting here for 100 apples. So instead of storing this 100 apples here, you can directly divert the 100 apples, a carton containing 100 apples, from the unloading area to the loading area. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so let us talk about the course content and our approach. Now, you know, some candidates in our batch, they are freshers in SAP. Okay, so to bring them up to speed, the first two sessions I will be dedicating only for the basics of SAP. That means I can just show you. Okay, so here we will talk about all the different modules of SAP, the different functionalities, SAP MM, SAP PP, SAP QM, SAP SD, SAP MMPP integrations. So the first two sessions will be dedicated for the freshers who are yet to log into the system, where we will talk about the different modules of SAP, the different terminologies of SAP, the different navigations, system navigations, and will explain them how to work in SAP. And then they have throughout the week to practice in the system and get up to speed. And then we'll start about EWM. Okay, so in the EWM, we will again start with the basic organization structure in detail, and we are going to do our training in our S4HANA 2023 embedded system. There we will set up the warehouse right from scratch. We will not use any existing warehouse. We will set up our warehouse right from scratch by setting up the org structure like this. And then we'll talk about the
So
different, yeah, sorry.
in S4 HANA, we have warehouse management and EWM both, right?
Yes, so warehouse management in S4HANA is called as a stockroom management, because SAP is
Okay.
not going to support the regular WM after 2027 or 2028, and they have given the stockroom management as a new application to fulfill the requirement of those organizations which are using the regular WM and their warehouses are very small.
Mhm.
Okay, but our course will be dedicated, focused only on SAP EWM. Okay, but while learning the EWM, as I said earlier, the process starts with SAP MM, PP, and HD. So while learning the EWM, you will also, I mean, those who are yet to start their SAP journey, they will be comfortable with MM and HD as well, because we'll also create a purchase order, sales order. We cannot start the EWM process directly in the EWM. It will always start with what we saw here: sales order, purchase order, or production orders. So we will be setting up the warehouse right from scratch. Again, we will be focusing only on the EWM. So we will not create a new plant. Plant comes under, and plant is a logistics element. So that requires the setting from MM, SD, PP, and finance modules as well. So we will be using the existing plant, and in the existing plant, we will create brand new storage locations, new warehouse, and new warehouse structure. Okay, so we'll talk about all these organization elements in detail, and then we'll set up in the system, and then we have the packaging specification, which is about the packing requirement of a product, warehouse process types, that is required for the goods movement, handling unit type, you have carton, you have pallet, you have bags, you have 100 cartons in one pallet. So all this will be covered under handling units. We have a basic inbound and basic outbound process without HU to start with. Then we will set up the handling unit and execute the inbound and outbound good receipt and goods issue process with handling unit. Of course, in the new warehouse which we are going to create, we will talk about the different put away rules and different stock removal strategies. Okay, so we have the storage control. So storage control is about this one. You have a different work center. Then warehouse order creation rules. So this one is the warehouse order creation rules, so that the right resource will get the right task for the right process. Then we also have the internal warehouse movements. Okay, like in case you wanted to move the product from this area to this bin, or this storage type to this storage type, or you have noticed that something is damaged and you wanted to scrap it, throw it in the dustbin. So within the warehouse as well, you have the process which doesn't require the integration with the other modules that we can see here: posting change, stock transfer, scrapping, and replenishment. Replenishment is about topping up the pick phase. Just to give you an example, in the Walmart store, you can see when you go to the Walmart store, you will see that you have 10 packet of cookies. But that doesn't mean that the Walmart store is having only 10 packet of cookies. They have a bulk storage where they have stored several cartons of that cookies. And when the 10 packet are picked or sold, then they will do the top up from here to here. That process is your replenishment. Then you have a physical inventory. Physical inventory, that means counting each and every item in the warehouse to make sure that it is in sync with the system. That is the audit requirement as well. It should not happen that on the floor in the warehouse you have 99 apples, but in system it is reflecting 100. Because if you are in the warehouse, a warehouse worker, for example, he eat one apple, system don't know, right, what he is doing physically there until you post it in the system. So to track the inventory, or to make sure that the inventory is reconciled properly in the system and in sync with the floor, we have the physical inventory process. In ERP side, you have the output determination. In EWM, you have the action determination. When you have a cartons, and we talked about scanning the cartons, how you will scan it when you have a label printed over there. The label will be there on the carton. The label contains the barcode. How the label will be printing, that will be through the post processing framework. That is, again, I mean, all these are new in EWM, not available in the other SAP modules, MMSD, PP, etc. Wave management we talked about, yard management, truck movement, resource management, how you will make sure that the right resource will be executing the right task. The resource working in the inbound side, the resource dedicated for the inbound side, will not get the work, the warehouse orders which are created for the outbound process. That will be in your resource and queue management. Then we will set up the RF device. All these processes which we are executing in the system will be executing in the RF device as well. So we don't have the device, but in the system we can see the RF, and that RF will be integrated to the external handheld devices. But we don't have any handheld device. We'll see how to set up the RF and how to execute the process in the RF. Then you have exception handling. What will happen if the resource takes the carton, go to the bin?
RF is related to the RF gun you are saying, Ashish?
Yes, it could be RF gun, it could be the that tablet, right? Whichever handheld device the warehouse is using. It is not always gun. It could be the tablet as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. So they consider as a user in the system, or just once we configure, just we need to set up like.
No, we have the screens in the system. Okay, and that screen, okay, I will show you. Okay, let me complete this first and then I will show you about the RF, okay, at high level, of course. And then you have the exception handling, where what will happen, you take the pallet, you take the carton from here, go to the bin and notice that the bin is broken, or you have 100 apples stored in the bin and 20 apples are smelling, or you have milk and the milk bottles are leaking. That means the bin is not suitable for put away. Then what you will do? So these are the exceptional cases in the warehouse. So how you will handle it in the EWM. And finally, we have cross docking. So this is the cross docking which we talked about. Okay, so coming to your questions on the RF. Okay, so this is about the RF. So this is the gun which will be used in the warehouse. But this gun, or it could be tablet, or it could be any handheld device that is integrated with EWM. We will not go into the integration aspect because this is focused only on the EWM, and the integration requires support from the other modules as well. So we'll see how it works in the EWM, and later on when it will in the project, when it will be integrated with the external handheld device, then you will be able to correlate. The same screens would be reflecting on the handheld device, and these screens we are going to set up in the system as well. Okay, so any questions on the course content, on the timings, on the approach? Now the forum is open. You are
So,
free to ask your questions.
Ashish, are we dependable on the MM only or the other modules also?
No, we are not dependent on MM or any other modules. That's what I said. We will be taking up the existing plant. The existing plant is good enough for the MM and FI point of view, and we will be creating a new storage locations and focusing only on the EWM.
So I have a few questions. You mentioned simple inbound and outbound process. What is the difference in simple and complex inbound and outbound? Are we going, are we doing that in this course?
Yes, so this is your simple inbound,
Mm-hmm.
and this one is your complex inbound.
Okay.
Okay, so in the course we have storage control.
Mm-hmm.
This is your
Oh,
complex
yes.
inbound and complex outbound.
Okay, got it. And yeah, there's one more topic, replenishment and labor management. How labor management is different? Will it be included? Because I cannot see here.
No, because there are certain advanced EWM topics which are not included here,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the labor management, cartonization, value-added services. There are
Mm-hmm.
several other topics which are under advanced EWM. So it is
Okay.
understood that first you learn the simple EWM and you will be able to do the advanced EWM on your own, or we also have a course content for the advanced EWM that requires another 40 hours of additional training.
Okay, and how long this training will go? Like how many months?
Yeah, this will
What are
be 10 weeks and it will be 2 hours Saturday and 2 hours Sunday every weekend.
okay.
So
Okay, so you will be,
practical will be done while you teach, or like we need to do it later.
yeah, so what will happen? You all will be getting, I mean, those who are enrolled will be getting the server, your separate credentials, and the same credentials I will be using in our training sessions. It is expected that you focus, I mean, during our sessions, you focus only on the sessions and not to write any notes, because immediately within 30 minutes of the session, you will get the session recordings and you also have your dedicated server. Okay, you don't need to install any software. It will be a remote desktop where the softwares are already installed. You will be getting the credentials, and you will be able to log into the credentials and practice throughout the week as per your convenience time. Okay, so and every session we will start with your Q&A. Okay, suppose we are doing the simple inbound and outbound process today, and next weekend when we start, or next session when we start, that time, in case you have any questions on that, you might be doing the practice in the meanwhile. And in case you have any questions, we will first make sure that all your queries are resolved before we proceed further. Okay, so 40 hours is not a hard stop. In case you have multiple questions, we can go up to 45-50 hours until all your questions are addressed. Yes,
Uh, I
yeah,
have one
Sheba.
more thing. No, this is Ritika. I have one question. You mentioned that there is interview assistance also there. So how
Yeah, but
will you assist?
yeah, so that we will talk about one to one. That is not included in the course content. So here we are simply focusing on the EWM learning, but the additional support which you need, maybe
Mm-hmm.
resume preparation or interview assistance or interview questions or job support, that in case required, we'll talk about it separately one to one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Sheba, you have raised the hand. Do you have any questions? Yes, so I will be sharing all the PPTs with you guys. Okay, so in addition to the recordings, we'll share all the PPTs and the course material. Okay, guys, so in a batch, you know, we'll we'll try to accommodate maximum, 8 to 10 candidates, so that we can focus on each and every one. And in case you have not yet enrolled, you can route it to the training institutes or the point of contact through which you got the link. Or in case you are coming directly to me, you can ping me on my number and we'll talk about it. I have already created the WhatsApp group, and next Saturday onwards, same time, we'll share the link in the WhatsApp group only. Okay, it is 8 to 10 p.m. IST, Indian time, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Central time. After daylight saving changes, we will try to adjust the sessions timing as per the convenience of each and everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if no further questions, then we can close for the day, and we'll regroup again next Saturday, same time. Okay, thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you all.